downtown. To roll out, I just come straight down mid. You're gonna be there before they get to their choke, and then you can grapple to their high ground quickly. From here, if another Widow or an Ashe or Hanzo come up here, you slam them and you can win those, unless they have a Mercy Pocket. But other than that, you just slam on them when they come to your choke. If it's safe, you can swing out behind them and boot them out. If there's too much pressure on that high ground, you can also just hold this corner and then do the same slam on them when they come through. Or you can hide underneath and then just boop and slam, and supports in the choke won't be able to see the tanks that you boop to the left. You can also hide far right on coast side, around like here, and then as they start pushing through and they're not looking behind, you are able to swing out, boop them and slam. If they're defending and you have to attack, you can come down through this room. This is more a direct approach, so your team has to be very aggressive with this, but you can just slam right on them and get ready to brawl. If you don't have a team like that, you can just come left, even into the spawn for extra safety. And if someone's chasing you, then your team has a 5v5, you made some space. But from here, you can either disrupt the tanks inwards, or you could just go on the supports that play, the DPS supports that play on this high ground. You can also come right side, all the way through, and then from here, you can either look to just initiate on the tanks right away, or you can try to force point, and when they start coming back to you, your team will have space, and just don't overcommit to a 1v4 if there's too many coming at you. If you have minefield, you also just mine off this entrance, so now they can't rotate to you, and you might be able to get a free cap. Or then with that minefield, if they're still playing there, you can come around and move men, you can make a lot of space and plays off that. Now some cool things about this map. Off this truck, you can summon high ground. Both sides you can do this. You can slam skip this corner. If someone's playing in here, you just quickly slam without having to height. This wall jump is super easy, you go super high. If you can't do it, you can just jump on the ring and then slam off that. From this, you can also get high ground on top or left, or the top right. Spin to win on this map isn't really possible if you're grabbing the bottom of this, it's just too wide, but if you grab the skinny part, you can spin around. You can use this wall jump and the second wall jump to get the weirdo Widow or Ashe players that go up there. But if you're playing down the middle part, it's a little difficult to get up there. So you can quickly grapple and wall jump off this to bounce yourself up high enough to slam that. Sanctuary. Once again, out of spawn, I come far right, over by the side bongo. If they're also coming here, then you wait for them to start to push through, and you can jump onto the planter box behind them, and then slam them all. Hopefully your team's there to follow up. Don't do this if you don't have a team with you. You can also look to grapple them with them so they're even more of cover. And if there's just a solo like Ashe or whatever that comes high ground, then that's for you to kill, and that's pretty easy. If no one comes this way and they all run down mid, then you can come behind them. And through here you can either boop the back line and slam them, or it just depends on where they're playing, but you can disrupt anywhere. If they're holding you, you can either go left or right. You have lots of space, lots of room to get behind them somehow. And then back here, you can either decide to boop the tanks in. If their entire team's playing there, boop them all in, disrupt them, mess them up. If there's a backline though, an Ana, a Zen, anyone that's by themselves, you can go on them, because even if you're not helping your team make space, distracting the backline will do just as much. And if they're holding on point, you still come behind them. Now, if you're defending them from coming in, I like to play around this little ledge because you can see if they're coming mid or any direction really. You can also hide in this corner behind them. It's a little more risky because they could check it, but not often do they do, and then you can boop them in. Cool things about this map, you can wall jump this to slam, you can wall jump this to get out and escape very quickly. You can grapple the orange wooden part to spin to win. You have cover from the bongo and from the pillars, so it's very hard for them to kill you. Those Lucios that play on top of bongo sometimes can be annoying. You can wall jump off the side, it's a little difficult, but the back side is very easy to skim up. And then you can also use this to slam just mid-fight, on their side or your side. And lastly, you can spin around this roof. It doesn't stall, you're too high up to stall the payload, the point, but you can use this to stall out your cooldowns while you're in safety, and then once your cooldowns are back, you're able to go in. And now Mecha Base. This is probably my favorite of the three. Out of spawn, come top right. I hide in this corner. If they're pushing up here, you have a free boop on the front line here, and when you boop them, then your team has a 4v6 right away, and it's just the easiest fight to win ever. If they're playing in that corner and they just don't push up for the boop, then you can just look to slam on them by wall jumping these ledges. Or if it's safer and they have less stuns, you can get behind them to boot them through deeper into your team and then slam as well. If they come right side, you won't be able to boot them off, but you can just do the same thing of slamming and stuff. Even if you have dive like a Winston, you can just go right in with the slams. If you're getting pressured out, you can drop down the hole, get this Mega, and get right back in the fight with this grapple up the tube. If they're holding you, they're normally going to hold that high ground. You can come left, and your entire team goes right, but you split off from them. You can either pressure someone that's back here, the Ana or the Ashe that plays long range, make a distraction for them, or you can go in the back line that's playing closer to their team right here. Or if they're all just lined up there, then you can boop them through and give your team a little bit of an opening to get through that tight doorway. Now when you're defending them from pushing in, you can either just use the same thing to bounce, to slam as the Ryan walks through or whatever. You can also hold in this corner and just instantly boop them through. It's a lot like downtown where the tanks are then split from the supports that are still in choke and they can't be healed. If they then rotate to bottom right, you can get behind them and have a nice scoop on them. Or you can let the tanks walk through and then go on the back line and split them apart. On point, you can spin to win this little part. It's a little hard during a mid-fight. A messy mid-fight, it's hard to grab, but you can do it. You can also wall jump off the angled walls that raise up and down. You can spin to win off the walls. Even when they go down, your grapple still stays attached and you can keep spinning. The kill box on this map is insanely low. No one really realizes this, but you can like basically touch the water before you die. So if you ever get booped, don't give up. You have a long grapple that you can get. And from this, you can also use the underground tunnels and quickly swing around to point because the kill box is so low.